I thought we had moments where we got stagnant just from the level of agency that we're trying to give them to figure this out. And these are the speed bumps I was referring to when we first started talking about how this offense is going to work. And it's not as simple as just coming down and calling a set every time. The end result is that they learn how to play basketball because they're getting to fight through these moments. They're getting to figure out, what do we do when the offense goes stagnant, or we didn't set a good screen, things like that. So I think it's to be expected. It's nothing that surprised us. But all in all, we're proud of the shots that we did generate. Yeah.
And just as far as Tia Nurse goes, what can you tell us? What have you heard, and have you talked to her about it yet?
She looks to be in really good spirits. I don't know the final diagnosis or anything like that. It looks to me like an ankle sprain. So hopefully we get her back sooner rather than later. She's a big piece. We missed her when she went down.
Thanks, Walt.
Got it.
Jeff Magliochetti.
Hey, Walt. What was the message to the team once Kia went down? Because it seemed like a lot of players, particularly Odom, stepped up once she went down.
Yeah, it's the same as it would be with anyone going down. They know that's our team has to function with depth. I don't think I've said any one thing more than we need to be there to pick each other up. That's every one of us. If it's a bad day, if it's an injury, if it's whatever. One of the foundations of this group is that we pick one another up. And so Nay was ready to step up, and hopefully everyone on this team feels confident and comfortable knowing that when their number's called, they're going to be ready to go. And it's okay, if they make some mistakes. And like I said, those speed bumps, they're expected and understandable. And the point is that you keep your confidence in spite of that. And I think that's where we have some room to grow a little bit. I think we got a little rattled when things didn't work for us right out the gate.
What do you think of the way Clarendon kind of took matters into her own hands today? Game high 20 points, and particularly toward the end of that first quarter, that terrific assist, and then got to the line to cut the lead to single digits.
Yeah, I think, you saw somebody who understood the way that the game was going. She saw that the screen actions that we were running, Seattle was doing a really good job kind of mucking things up, getting us uncomfortable. And so some of the things that we were talking about in huddles was to get downhill and attack. It's hard to trap, when there's no screen and there's no one right next to you. So she did a really good job recognizing that, getting downhill, getting in the bodies, being under control. It's her way to create for her teammates. So, I think she recognized that opportunity, and I think she was 10 of 12 from the free throw line. I don't know if you said that, but yeah, she was steadying for us, and I think that's something you can expect going forward.
Thank you, Walt.
Got it.
Hey, everyone. We're not going to get to everyone with Coach, so I would ask that you would only ask one question. That would be great. Next, Maria Marino.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Thanks. More on your backcourt with Laysia and Sabrina. I wanted to ask, how will you look to have them sort of complement each other further, just to get the most possible out of them and have the right balance?
Yeah, I think everything that we're doing right now is in a state of assessment, and I think that we do know what we have with those two. If Sab makes a few threes tonight, like she will for her entire career, she's going to hit a ton of them. I think a lot of things look different, and that's any game on any given night. I think that they do a really good job of complementing one another. I think that what we need to do more of is get them into off-ball split actions, with a team that's really aggressive against the pick and roll. I think that it was a really good game for us to see kind of a weakness, in the way that we're attacking defenses. But I think all in all, those two, they're really good about how to complement one another. They're trying to get each other involved at all times. I think they play well with one another. So I think we just, we keep on that course.
Michelle Vopel.
Yeah, Coach, can you just give us an assessment of what you thought of Sabrina in terms of decision-making and the things that she did out there? Obviously, being her first pro game. She said she might have had a little bit of jitters beforehand, but she seemed pretty comfortable when she was out there.
Yeah, I think this is for any team for her to go against for her first game. This is a good test because they're so long and they're so aggressive in pick and roll. And I know that in college, if she ever had anyone bother her, it was those long, athletic, aggressive teams that really tried to disrupt her in pick and roll. And so it was a good thing for her to see, but it's nothing she hasn't done before or seen before. Got sped up a few times. I think that on my end, I didn't do a good enough job preparing the team off the ball for those traps to move into an angle where she could make those passes. But yeah, all in all, I think she dealt with everything really, really well. Absolutely nothing to be concerned about. It's just, it's her first game against arguably the best team in the league. So.
Jackie Powell.
Hey, Walt. Just wondering if you could expand a little bit about how comfortable you thought Odom and Jocelyn looked this afternoon.
I thought what they did that I really loved is they tried to do what they do, and that's a sign of confidence. I think it's easy to come in and just kind of try to hide and not assert yourself. I thought Jocelyn right away, she used her body. She tried to attack. She drew an offensive foul. I loved that she got downhill and got into the paint. That's what she does. I think she knocked down a three. Nay was all over the place. She was on the offensive rebounds. She was cutting. She did a good job defensively. I think, seeing their confidence in their first ever game was really fun. It's really fun to see kind of what the potential is when you're looking at a group that has been together for 2 weeks with so many young players. I think that they showed up. I think that they would tell you their body language and their effort wasn't as consistent as it needs to be, and it wasn't as consistent as it has been. And that's something we talk about all the time. Consistency with younger players is the hardest thing. So that's what we're going to keep working on.
Thanks, Walt.
Thanks.
Jennings. Chantel Jennings. All right, we're going to move on to Erica Ayala.
Hi, Coach. You talked a little bit about, with Michelle's question about maybe wanting to prepare the team a little bit different to react to the trap. I'm wondering, though, on the opposite side of the court, what did you like from what you saw defensively, and maybe some things that you'd like to tighten up?
Yeah, I think that we got away from our principles a little bit. We looked a little tired and looked like we weren't pursuing guards in pick and roll quite as much as we would have liked. We'd get hit by a screen and kind of die. And one of the most important principles is that we don't get screened. And that's an effort, focus kind of thing. And I thought we got hit more and more as the game went on. I thought that we had spurts of playing our defense and applying the principles we've been working on where we generated the exact types of shots that we hope the team will take. I think they had one offensive rebound at half, and I thought that they really did a tremendous job keeping them off the glass. The second half, things changed a little bit, and I think that's just, there's a lot of room for growth on both ends for us, but I do think there was enough good there that there was so much to be excited about.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.
All right, thank you so much, Coach. If I didn't get to you all, I will start with you next. Just a reminder to please raise your hands. Coach, you can leave the room. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
can't see my shirt from down here.
We see you, Lasia.
There we go.
All right, we're going to begin with Jackie Powell.
Oh, can I just say, we're not doing a full blackout, but obviously I want to talk about Brianna a lot and what this weekend means, but I'm still open to answering basketball questions. But of course, we want you all to cover Brianna and everything we've done. So I just hope you will.
All right, sure. I guess to start with the social justice piece, what sort of were your emotions coming in thinking about playing this game for Breonna Taylor? I mean, that was sort of the slogan, that you are playing for Breonna Taylor.
Yeah. I mean, they're mixed. They were heavy, really heavy. Because it's one thing to like say her name and she's a hashtag, but you remember that she was literally a person who's not alive anymore, who we have to put her on our chest and say things on ESPN to try and get her murderers charged. And so there's really mixed emotions there of like, this is amazing, we can do it with this platform, but just the heartbreak that we have to do this.
For sure. Thank you, Lasia.
Doug Feinberg.
Hey, Lasia, can you just talk about how it all came together, the pregame with you talking, Brianna talking, the going off the court for the anthem, the 26 seconds moment of silence, just how this all came about?
Yeah, I mean, the Social Justice Council is working with the players on it, working with the league to kind of nail down up until the last minute. We just had the idea. Obviously, we have the 26 on the back of the other shirt that we got made for how old she was when she was murdered. So we thought that was very fitting to do a moment of recognition, not a moment of silence, because we're not being silent by any means in this moment. And then an opportunity to address everyone and let them know why we're playing this season, what we're dedicating the season to. And it was just a great opportunity. It was one of the first things that's coming out of the Social Justice Council. And we had a call, you guys probably saw it on social media. It was recorded, should get released, but it was with Miss Palmer, Tamika Palmer, Breonna Taylor's mother, Kimberly Crenshaw, Dr. Kimberly Crenshaw, who coined intersectionality and helped start Say Her Name, and Stacey Abrams and Breonna Taylor's mom's council. And we had that opportunity to work with her and talk to her and just make sure we're going in the right direction, make sure she liked the shirts, approved them, like everything we've done as activists and organizers has wanted to make sure we're honoring her, her legacy and pulling her in on it. So we were very intentional. We're not just slapping her name on a shirt and being like, here we go. We're doing it alongside her mother and being really intentional.
Just to follow up, is this going to be a league-wide moment of recognition, do you think, today and tomorrow for the 6 games? Or do you not know?
I believe it should be a league-wide moment of recognition, maybe perhaps even for the whole season. And the anthem should be, I think all players today should be walking off the anthem as a moment of unity in the fact that the anthem doesn't represent justice and equality and freedom for everyone in this country.
Thank you.
Next, we'll have Jennifer Williams.
Sorry. Just to follow up, what was the conversation around choosing to walk off the court versus, say, kneeling or raising a fist? What were the conversations around that?
We have conversations as we have like an entire player rep chat from every team. So some conversations were, are we willing to do it? Thinking we're a little bit, the kneeling has become performative in some instances. Like, of course, what Kaepernick has done, everything he stood for, and we've done it back in 2016, 17. We're looking forward now and not wanting this moment to only be something that's performative now, because we see military people kneeling. We see it becoming something that people are doing as performance. Like, people weren't willing to do it back when it was making a bigger impact. And so for us, it was kind of like, we're a little bit beyond that point, and people, I think, will kneel this season. After this opening weekend, teams will do different variations of protesting, and so usually you might see some kneeling, but specifically for opening weekend, it was wanting to walk off the court and say, this just isn't enough anymore. Like, kneeling doesn't even feel like enough to protest. Like, I don't want to hear the anthem. I don't want to stand out there. I don't want to be anywhere near it, because it's ridiculous that justice and freedom is just not offered to everybody equally.
Thank you so much.
Hey, girl.
James Clark.
Hi, can I ask a basketball question? You were especially aggressive today offensively, but I really want to ask more about defense. It looked as though the plan was to go under screens, and Stewart and Lloyd kind of took advantage of that. Do you think that needs to be changed? You have to start going above screens.
Yeah, our game plan was definitely to go under screens, but there was times where we were supposed to go over and mix it up, and so we all kind of fell in the rut of only going under, and so that's on the guards to switch opportunities of when to go over, when to go under, but we do want to go under and bait people into taking those shots.
Thanks.
Erica Ayala.
Thanks, Leisha. I wanted to ask you a little bit about the opportunity, it looks like that's upcoming, to have a conversation with former First Lady Michelle Obama, and how you think those conversations will also have the added benefit of bringing awareness to the WNBA, extending beyond, say, her name and Breonna Taylor for other things that the league stands for.
Yeah, I hope. I mean, a good job by the MBPA I think they initially got the invite and they made sure the WNBA was included. So we're still nailing down. I think most of the conversation is about voting, but we're so often left out of those conversations. And like you're saying, it's important that we get the opportunity to finally be involved and just raise the awareness. And yeah, we should absolutely be the people talking with Michelle Obama, the former First Lady, and bring awareness to our league. Like I've been saying over and over and over, if you are woke in this moment, if you are for the movement, you should be following the WNBA. And so that heightened awareness is what we're just continuing, trying to constantly push the visibility for this league, because that's a big part of the growth is the representation, the viewership, getting people to tune in and care about our game, get fans engaged. And from a social justice perspective and everything we stand for in this moment, that should be a no-brainer.
Thank you very much.
Chantel Jennings.
Thanks for your time, Leisha. I'm curious, obviously everyone's in the same spot right now because of the pandemic. Is an unintended benefit of that having 12 teams all in the same place, triple headers on the same court basically every other day, does that amplify your guys' message of unity and social justice even more this season?
Yeah, I think it does. I think although we're not, as we were in phase 2 of getting out of quarantine and everything, we're not quite able to meet as 144 players yet, but I think we eventually will, as we are able to start doing roundtables and different events now that we're playing. And so I think it does just make it easier to even organize when we're on our phones, because everybody's here. So it's not like anyone's like back home and like, oh, I'm hanging out or going to dinner. It's like you either went and got some food, you're cooking at your house. So there is a level of availability that being in this bubble offers us for all 12 teams. Like we've had tremendous viewership and people tuning into our Zoom calls, being aware and being involved in this moment. So I do think the opportunity of us all being here has created something special that we've never had before, an opportunity to be in one place.
Lastly, we'll go with Pepper Pursley.
Hi, Leisha. Thank you for your time. How are you hoping to inspire children and young fans who are watching the games and want to make change?
That's a good question. I'm hoping that people, when they watch us play, know that you can be more than an athlete, that is never in time for you to shut up and dribble, shut up and swing, shut up and whatever version of the sport you play. So want people to know that you have a voice, especially young players, young kids, young girls, that you have a voice, that it matters, and that as an athlete you can always use your platform and impact for bigger change.
Thank you.
Thank you, Leisha. You can leave the room. Just a reminder to please raise your hands if you have questions. We are going to start with Howard Megdal.
Hey, Sabrina, can you hear me?
I can.
Great. Congratulations on your first WNBA game. Wanted to ask you 2 parts if I could. One, just for you to take us through being out on the court, seeing the traps thrown at you, just the way in which a WNBA defense differs in how they attack you? And then second part, I'm just curious your initial thoughts on how Brianna Stewart looked in her return. Obviously, I know you're very familiar with her game.
Yeah, I think the traps is something that I'm definitely used to. Obviously, at this level, though, the players are a lot stronger, a lot faster, a lot smarter, more athletic. And so I think I was definitely a little bit sped up on that. But I'm happy that it happened in my first game, and now I'm able to watch film and learn and figure out where I need to make that next pass and how I'm able to attack that. So I'm really happy that I was able to go through that struggle. And Brianna looked like Brianna always looks. She looked amazing. Just so happy to see her out there smiling, doing what she does best. She was hitting down shots. She was getting rebounds. She was running the floor really well. So really happy and proud of her, and just proud to see how her recovery has come along and how she's out there just like she's never left.
Thanks a lot.
Jackie Powell.
Hey, Sabrina. Thanks so much for joining us. I just wanted to ask you a little bit about the Say Her Name and honoring Breonna Taylor today. So were there moments when you were playing on the court when you thought of her and you thought about fighting for her? And how do you really internalize playing for her?
Definitely. I think just seeing her name on the back of everyone's jerseys and how bought in this league is and these teams are to supporting her, her family, and the countless other women, men that are losing their lives because of the color of their skin. So I think that's something that I've definitely reflected on, and especially playing in a game where we're all talking about her. We're wearing Say Her Name across, our shirts. We're wearing her name on the back of our jerseys, and a lot of us are going to continue to wear her name on the back of our jerseys for the rest of the year because Breonna Taylor's name needs to be heard. And so I'm really proud of this league, this team, and what they're doing to amplify our voices and the platform that we have, and I'm excited to see hopefully change being made.
Thanks so much, Sabrina.
Maria Marino.
Hey, Sabrina, you seem to be more aggressive in the second half. How did your comfort level and therefore your approach change as the game went on?
I think really just trying to figure out what I can do to try and help us win. Obviously, I know on every single ball screen, a lot of attention's on me and trying to get the ball out of my hands. And I'm still learning. I'm a rookie, and I think there is a lot of expectation on me coming in and just producing the numbers I did in college. But I definitely think there's going to be a lot of down and a lot of adversity that I have to face in order to get there. And so I was just happy to be able to see arguably the best team in the league in our first game and just learn from the defensive schemes that they threw at me and us as a team and continue to build from that. And so I think I gained a little bit more confidence and was a little bit more comfortable in that second quarter.
Thank you.
James Creppy.
Hey, Sab. I know a lot was made heading into the season in this game about adjusting and getting used to the speed of the game and the caliber of competition. You go 12-6-4, but those of us who know you well know you look at the 4 assists to 4 turnovers and the 0 for 8 from 3 will probably be what sticks with you. And back here, it would have kept you Matthew Knight for a couple hours after the game. So how do you adjust to this kind of performance and a performance that 12-6-4, but also a performance that you made, the things that would stick with you at the college level that shouldn't maybe stick with you as much at the pro level?
Yeah, I'll live with 12-6-4 in my first game against the best team in the league. I'm not used to having to take 8 threes a game. That's something that I'm not used to. I'm used to being able to come down and really just facilitate, and now I have to definitely be more of a scorer, especially with some of our players that are out and injured and not able to play in our game. And so I think just continuing to put myself in uncomfortable positions in order to grow, and that's what I'm doing. But in my first game, 12-6-4 is something that I'm going to live with, and I'm not going to get too down on myself because we play in a couple of days, and I have to learn from those mistakes that I made and continue to grow.
Thanks, Ab, and congrats.
Thank you.
Tim Crowley. Tim Crowley.
Hey, Sabrina, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I just want to go back to that second quarter when you were facing that 12-point deficit. What's the team mentality that you're running with at that point, going up against a group of veterans, and how are you guys able to erase that deficit so quickly?
We just stick to our game plan, whether we're down 12, down 20, up 20, we play the game the same way. And that's something that we've done all training camp. That's something that we're going to continue to do regardless of the score. And so I think that's what we did. We just tried to stick with it, continue to weather that storm and slowly chip away and, stop, score, stop, and keep trying to run that ball and transition and run our lanes. And so, I definitely think that we did have some letdowns, especially in the second and third quarter where we didn't finish the play all the way. And they're a veteran team who've been here many, many times. And so I think they were really able to use that to their advantage. And so we just have to learn from that and continue to grow.
Thanks, Sabrina.
Erica Ayala.
Thank you, Sabrina. You hit on this with a few other people, but maybe if I could just reframe for you. When you look back on this game, what are you most excited to build upon that you think you and the team did well? And what are you most excited to go back to the lab and really refine because you know that you and the team can do better?
I think we could definitely refine things in every category, from defense to offense, from taking care of the ball. Me personally, especially as a ball handler, I need to take care of the ball better. But I think we did some things really well. We gave them a game, especially from the first three quarters. And I think that's something that a lot of people weren't used to seeing. Us predicted to finish last and them first. And so I think that's hats off to us. We came out strong. We didn't fold at the beginning because they were who they are. And so I think there's a lot of positivity in that, and continuing to grow and go back, watch film, see what we could have done better, and see what we did well.
Thank you.
Last question, Jeff Magliochetti.
Hi, Sabrina. Congratulations on making your debut. When Kia Nurse went down, what was your message to her, and did you have to take on a bit of more of a leadership role in that regard when she was lost for the rest of the game?
I think personally, I just had to realize that I'm going to need to take up some of her shots. She's such a great shooter. She spreads the floor so well with her ability to shoot, her ability to cut, and just her fighter mentality on defense, offense. She's been great to play with and learn. So we definitely missed that in the game. And so I think personally, I told her to try and get healthy. I would love to have had her out there on the game. But she'll be all right. And so I'm excited to continue to play with her. But I think I just had to really take up some of her shots because she's such a great shooter. And so I need to be able to hit those shots for her and the rest of our team.
Thank you, Sabrina.
Thank you, Sabrina. You can now leave the room. Just a reminder, Amanda Zawibi is next, and Powell.
Hey, Amanda. Thanks for joining us. Congratulations on getting through game one. I wanted to know if you could compare and contrast opening day today with last year. Sort of what felt different and what felt similar, if so?
We just went out and played. I think we did all right. I don't remember much from last year. My focus is on this year, and I think we did solid. First game against one of the best teams in the league. Yeah, a lot of growing left to do, but I think we did better than what we expected and what other people expected. So I'm proud of my girls. I'm proud of the squad.
For sure. And a quick follow-up. What did it mean to you to see Kia Stokes make her first three ball ever?
That's what she do, baby. That's what she do.
Thanks so much.
Jennifer Williams.
Sorry about that. What would you say about Sabrina's presence on the floor for her first game?
She a leader, you know. She didn't play as well as she wanted to. She kind of beating herself up, but she did great. First game, a lot of pressure on her. She's a leader. Her demeanor, the way she talks to people, the way she picks other people up. I'm just excited for her future, as well as the rest of the rookies and the young players. You know, they all led in their own way, and I'm very proud of them. We played the first game of 2020. All eyes on us and a lot of pressure on them. But I think overall everyone did very well as a first game, you know, going against Seattle.
Thank you so much.
Next up, we have James Clark.
Hi. Talk a little bit about Lasia Clarendon. You hadn't played with her. I mean, she's new to the Liberty, and you aren't. But what did you see in her game, and how's it make you feel for the future?
I was super excited. She went hella hard, and she went to the free throw line a lot of times, and she led us with her aggressivity, or however you say it, being aggressive.
That'll do.
Yeah. I like playing with her. She's vocal, she goes hard, and she pushes us, in practice, but also now during warm up. She's always right there, right? So I'm excited for her.
Thanks.
Howard Megdal.
Hey, Amanda, good to chat with you. I have two parts, if I could. One, just when you are getting an opportunity to get different looks out of a 4 spot playing next to Tia Stokes, it seems like you were getting more of these open looks, but it wasn't that you guys were sacrificing on the boards. You guys combined for 17 boards, and Tia led was a game high at 9. I'm just wondering how you think about balancing that and whether the looks were easier for you this time around, playing in this performance compared to last year. And quick follow-up from that one.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited playing with Stokey. Her game has just evolved, and she has taken so many big strides. Now they got to pick their poison. So I'm excited. We both can pick and pop. We both can roll, crashing the boards. So the more we play together this way, it's just we're gonna be unstoppable, right? And we have other bigs coming off the bench, being able to do exactly what we do. And I call it early in training camp. Stokey about to be the player to get best improved, most improved.
And just to follow up on it, the two rookies who got a large amount of playing time, Odom and Willoughby, just curious what your first impressions of those two were seeing them at WNBA game speed.
Can you please repeat that? They're being loud.
I heard. It's all good. Odom and Willoughby, your first impressions on each of them, seeing them playing at WNBA game speed, which, as you know, is a different thing.
Yeah, just like everyone else, I'm really excited for them. I think Joss really showed that she can play physical, right? She took people off the dribble and she went up hard against some great ass players. And then we got Oda. She surprised people. She got bunnies for days. So I'm really proud of them. They did well. I'm gonna keep pushing them to be even more aggressive and just get out of that shell. But the future is bright, man. The future is really bright for these young players.
Thanks, Amanda.
Pepper Persley.
Hi, Amanda. Good to see you again. This is Pepper Persley from Dish with Pepper. I noticed that the ball was going through your hands more. What is that part of the game plan?
Yeah, it's a part of the game plan. We have a new coach and he wants everyone to feel comfortable at all times. So the big's been practicing picking up the ball off a rebound and starting the offense off, and the guard's been practicing posting up. So it's a really fun way to play basketball. And yeah, we're just gonna build from that. That's a great question. Thank you.
Thank you.
Erica Ayala.
Hausninger Amanda. Did I get that right? Did I say it right?
You said what?
Hausninger.
I don't know.
Anyway, I'm gonna work on it. The point is, the question I have is, you said you wanted this team to be known as fearless. I think you used the term ruthless on this call. I would like to ask you to grade how you think the first game went, defensively and offensively, if fearless is the end goal for this team.
Yeah, I think we started off the game very fearless. They took the lead and we came back. Now we just gotta keep on being consistent with it and not get on our heels. And it's a growing process. I think we did well as a first game. Not perfect, but like I said, we're going against Seattle. and we are pretty much new to the league as a whole. So I think we did pretty well. You know, you can always be more aggressive and be even more fearless. And we know the next game gonna be even more physical. So that's where we're really gonna show and feel our presence.
Thanks.
Lastly, Jeff Magliochetti.
Hi, Amanda. Thank you for joining us today. Congratulations on the first game. And what were your impressions on guarding the interior today with Brianna Stewart back in the saddle?
I was guarding Tosh.
Sure. What was guarding Howard like on the interior then?
It was cool. It was cool. Obviously played against Tosh for a couple years now, and I just got away from China playing against her. And I think I'm honestly a little bit proud of myself for staying with her. Didn't get her running off away from me, that's what she do. Tasha's a runner, and she's a guard in a post body, and I think I did all right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Amanda. You can leave the room. And thank you all for joining us today. You will receive